These people are evil and cruel to the core. They kill without hesitation. They are killing machines at this point. These are men that are without souls and will kill even a pregnant woman at will while chanting Allahu Akbar. There is no way you can explain to me or any normal, reasonable human being that these people are freedom fighters. Impossible. Today is the 22nd of November 2025. Yesterday, Friday, 21st of November, in Niger State in Nigeria, 303 school children and 12 teachers were kidnapped by a jihadist militant group in St. Mary's Catholic School in a community called Papiri in Niger State in central Nigeria. The school is roughly 360 to 370 kilometers away from Abuja, the nation's capital. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, when your children or friends go to school and return home every evening or at the end of every semester, you should be very thankful to God for that trip and also to be very thankful to the government of that country in which you live for the peace and the security you have. Because this experience is no more guaranteed for other school kids and parents in Nigeria, in Somalia, Sudan, Niger, Mali, and many other places in Africa. This includes when you are able to go to places of your worship and return home intact. You should be very thankful because it's not a right in other places across borders in Africa. You must therefore protect this peace and security at all costs. On the 20th of this same month of November, in Christ Apostolic Church in Eruku, Kwara State in Nigeria, at least 30 worshippers, including a pastor in the church, were abducted and 3 people were killed. On the 17th of this same month of November, again, 25 school children from Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, GGCSS, in Maga, Kebibi State, were again kidnapped, killing the principal in the process by another group of jihadist rebels. In 1 month only, ladies and gentlemen, 370 people, mostly Christians, have been abducted and 2 persons murdered. You should be really worried about what's going on in Nigeria, even though you may not be a Nigerian or may not live there, and treat those people, those Nigerians, who may be telling you that nothing of that sort is happening there as beneficiaries of those abductions. Ladies and gentlemen, the rate of kidnappings and killings by these jihadist groups have just taken on a new speed. They are coming out unexpectedly at random times of the day, and they show no mercy. They abduct, they rape, demand ransoms, and when you cannot afford, they either kill you or sell you. This is how dangerously cruel these people are, ladies and gentlemen. But do you know that there are markets in Nigeria where human body parts are sold? I mean, human parts, whether you want them fresh or frozen, they have them there in Nigeria. Ask yourself, where do you think they get all these human parts from, ladies and gentlemen? For those who send me messages or call saying, Cyrus, tone down and don't you fear for your life, all that kind of messages you send me, I want to ask you this. How sure are you that you may not be the next victim? Because people who went to church to pray didn't return home. What makes you think you will be overlooked by those people? Nigeria right now is not the type of place you would want to encourage anyone to visit. And if you are planning of traveling to Nigeria this December, for dirty December, my advice to you is don't. Your safety cannot be guaranteed. Listen, don't you even see the kind of security ordinary business people carry around in running errands in Nigeria? Regular people in business have to walk with heavily armed policemen all the time for their safety. And you want the world to believe that that's a safe place to be. I tell you this Ghanaian proverb. When your mother is dead and you tell people she's sleeping, you are the only one who's still left with a corpse. I hope you understand it. I don't know what will be that last straw that break the camel's back in Nigeria. I really don't. Because it appears the Nigerian government in itself is either involved in the attacks or clueless as to how to stop it. Because let us analyze this, ladies and gentlemen. When these groups come on the attack, they are usually coming on vehicles. And because they kidnap people, they come with more than one vehicle. You want to tell me there is no security intel in Nigeria that can respond to these attacks in time or follow after them even when they are leaving, ladies and gentlemen? How is it that every time they just come in, kidnap people, and run off, and that will be the end of the story? How is that possible? Isn't that what's empowering them to do even more? Because they know there is no immediate reactive response to their actions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's process all these things. This cannot continue. Have you realized that the more we talk about it on the media, including my platform, the more abductions are happening and nothing from the government is happening? Have you realized it? The more it goes global and everybody's talking about it, the numbers keep increasing. What is this? And for everyone living in Africa that's watching me today, you need to listen to this carefully. Do you know that if Nigeria's government don't find a solution to this problem, we all will be next? Nigeria shares borders with 4 countries: Niger, Chad, Benin, and Cameroon. This will be the easiest next targets, and then the rest of all of us will be next. Do you see what I see, or you don't? Be honest. See how easy it is for them to kidnap an entire school's children when everywhere in the world people are talking about it. It's still like a walk in the park for them to kidnap people even right now. That should tell you how unconcerned the federal and local government of Nigeria are in relation to these abductions. I don't believe President Tinubu is having sleepless nights over this. I really don't. And to my Nigerian viewers and friends, do you really believe Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the man to solve this problem? I mean, do you see any real attempts by this government to stop what's going on in Nigeria? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't. In my eyes, Tinubu is unbothered about what's happening. He's more concerned about winning the next elections in Nigeria than some school kids being abducted. But me and you, we cannot be comfortable. We don't have security like they do, and we don't support them. And so, we have to exert the pressure until something new happens. I'm not sure you would take this lightly if these abductees were people you knew personally. I don't think so. If it were happening in your country, I wouldn't think you could be silent about it. Therefore, we must be the ones to voice out for help for our brothers and sisters who cannot. What do you think they are doing to these abductees right now? Ask yourself. What do you think they are doing to them? Have you seen any of the videos in circulation of how they are treated, ladies and gentlemen? I promise you this. You won't have your sanity back for the next 1 month when you see any of those videos. These people are evil and cruel to their core. They kill without hesitation. They are killing machines at this point. There is no way you can explain to me or any normal, reasonable human being that these people are freedom fighters. Impossible, ladies and gentlemen. These are men that are without souls and will kill even a pregnant woman at will while chanting Allahu Akbar. It is so disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. That spirit that controls them can never be the spirit of the God of Abraham. Don't be misled. They serve not the true God, but a very wicked fallen being. I love this continent, ladies and gentlemen. I love Africa and our people. And I see so much potential for us in the coming years. But every time I have to turn my attention to these people, I become completely paralyzed in my emotions and thoughts. It is a disturbing issue that needs everybody's attention. AU is not going to do anything about it, unfortunately. There is coming a time in Africa when each country will have to take their security, internal security, at their borders into their own hands, because you cannot trust your neighbor country in Africa anymore. This free movement we have amongst ECOWAS states will soon crumble. Mark my words. May the Lord help us all and be with those who have been taken. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cyrus, and this is Toontum Network. Don't forget to subscribe if today is your first time with us. And click on the bell for more. I'll see you in the next one. It is bye-bye for now.